Hey there, guys. I am doing a YouTube video. I promise it's not a school project, and we'll be running down through what my screenwriter told me on my script. We'll be going through different videos that showcase the pandemic and how it's not doing so good to us as people. Yeah, that's basically it. Aren't shows very much. It was already predicted by experts that a new wave of disease will arise. There were plans along the guidelines created to handle a pandemic this size, but many undermined the warnings, especially those who did trade or other businesses and didn't want to lose their business. And so, when the disease did come, its effects rippled before and after the pandemic happened. Pandemics are inevitable. However, its effects could be lessened if the authority and the healthcare professionals could work together. I did a little wardrobe change, but anyways, outbreaks of a disease are common, but a disastrous one, like coronavirus, let's say, we've experienced it, rarely happens in nature because most pandemics happen when a spillover occurs, which spreads across borders, but a spillover will not always result into a global pandemic. In TED, it says that there are 31% chance that a person will encounter another pandemic using the optimistic idea in their lifetime. And with millions of viruses that yet to be discovered, there is plenty of room for new pandemics. However, pandemic effects could be cushioned if we have a concrete plan to follow. Unlike when coronavirus hit, there was not a concrete plan except bulk buying and panic buying. Ted Ed, as well as Bill Gates, Bill Gates used to be the richest man in the world, agrees that we should prepare beforehand, and ideas such as better response teams, contact tracing, making early warning systems, and universal vaccines for everybody. Because if you have vaccines and you can't even let them get through different people, what's the use of vaccines? Of course, the government and healthcare authorities should work together to get funding in order to have expand researching as well as learning and better ways to combat pandemics. Also, governments around the world should work together in order for other countries that are lacking to get help because we're all human. Even though we're different races and ethnicities, we're all human and we will die. Diseases always appear, but with the science and the technology we have today, it should not have to be pandemics. As a society, if we were to be crumbled and put to our knees, it should be by a cyber invasion, not by a pandemic, considering the technology we have today. From the videos we have watched, I hope you watched the video, we discovered that a disease from a host that has a pathogen in it, which it must infect or come in contact with a healthy human being. As long as you're unhealthy. Every species on Earth interacts with other species within an environment. That's kind of basic sense. And because of this, a certain species may influence how one species evolves. It's like a domino effect, a Darwin theory, really. So, if one animal carries a virus in which it grew to be resistant in, like an animal that grew to be stronger than the virus that infected it, and that infection jumps across species, it can be catastrophic to us, man. The idea is that we humans might not have that same immunity that one animal is strong in. We can't be all resistant. Not only that, it matters too if that animal with that certain pathogen comes contact regularly to humans. So make sure that your pets, dogs, cats, and that pet mice under your kitchen is always vetted, alright? But it can also be a positive. A certain animal that shows sickliness can be studied by us to know that specific virus. And with that information, it will give us a chance to know if it can be fatal to us or the animals around us. But as people, we should always remember that animals should always be taken great care of. Nature can be one of our greatest enemies as well as our best allies. So we better make ways to make the environment and animals that live in it around us in better condition to make the world a better place. This is exactly how COVID-19 happened. As this spread, healthcare authorities scrambled to create data and graphs that showed the healthcare system not may not be able to handle the flow of patients coming in the hospitals in the region or the country. This is where the term flatten the curve is important. The rising and following of the curve is predicted when a super spreader like the COVID-19 event happened and a capacity of hospitals cannot handle if cases go up and the curve will be longer. But if the cases go down, then the curve would flatten. You get what I'm meaning? And that would be in the hospital's capacity range. The curve serves as our way to know how much the virus spread and to stop its exponential growth. It also creates a better way for people to understand the severity and makes us aware of the situation at hand. Understanding the data will make us smarter and analysis that many possibilities that could help us in the long run. That is why a sensible and long-term plan should have been implemented or created beforehand. Bill Gates stated that the governments and pharmaceuticals should come together in order to create diagnostics and use factories to create vaccines to be ready and very much distributed to people. Also, we should be careful in the way we interact with animals or people that might have a infection going on. Have adept disease monitoring census and a great isolation policies. It helps not only us, but a faster way to respond to the diseases, improving our health and creating a better system. And for countries that are well developed, they should also help those who are still developing. Not only that, but as a citizen, we must follow protocols. So, no bad boys or bad girls here. The government should also take precaution towards our economy, as funds are being spent to aid the people and the healthcare workers trying to do that. Spend more time investing in research and making healthcare better for everyone because, as you know, we are in a pandemic. So that's why it should be in health. We should take these matters seriously because, we don't want pandemics back then to be as worse as now. The Black Plague, that was not a good thing. These videos help us understand the tools around us and encouraging us to do something about our world. Technology has come so far that it becomes empowering to reach out to others and educate us to matters that we don't know and engaging us to do the same and share them to people that also don't know. It enhances the way we think about platforms that are supposed to be entertainment, but it can also create information and awareness. Videos like these should be amplified and recognized. But also, while viewing the video, you have to acknowledge the human life as a whole. Many after the pandemic had little to nothing to their name. Businesses closes, a lot of employees were laid off. Unemployment was skyrocket high, and most importantly, inflation was also sky high, which is not a good thing. However, people rise up and form solidarity, creating community pantries and helping healthcare workers. Makes me have a little bit of hope for humanity now, huh? Everyone was involved in order to face a new normal, that which at first seemed bleak, but now it shows hope. Slowly, we stand up and rise upon the many challenges that the virus has created. Makes you know that humans can stand up to anything if they put their minds to it and their hearts. We will now look at a clip that exemplifies that humans are political animals. Play it along, future Ira that's gonna edit this.
Governments and pharmaceutical companies will work together to use factories all over the world to get an unprecedented scale of diagnostics and vaccines very quickly. We'll have an agreed protocol and we'll understand how to share the results globally. Countries and the WHO will work in the best way to allocate these tools and to make sure that we have the logistics and delivery to get them to everyone who needs them.
Wow. Now I'm gonna share my thoughts, and I really did watch that. As people, we are able to recognize this solution not only to teach us about our surroundings, but politically as well. We are taught that people and the government should work in order not only for us to thrive, but including the world. We should be able to give a voice for those in need and strengthen them. As social beings, we found ways to communicate and find ways for social problems. In that case, we also find arguments with every solution, whether it would be reliable or costing too much that it's not reliable. We are political animals and we will reason, fight, and seek the answer for anything we want. But the greatest thing that should be asked is how do you prevent a pandemic? A proper investment is needed in order to maintain a healthy way to live. If we want to avoid another COVID disaster, then we have to create changes that will not only benefit us, but the future, especially those for our grandchildren and great-grandchildren. How do epidemiologists works? A global team of 3,000 disease experts managed and called the Germ Team, which is pretty cute, not gonna lie, by the World Health Organization should track disease so that they can share the data to the government. We are now going to talk about the role of the government in pharmaceutical companies. In health-related incidents, one can't live without the other. Both play great roles in order to create a better response. By using factories using the world to create diagnostics and vaccines fast, with that, they would be able to share those data globally. These tools can help nations and the WHO to formulate a plan to fight the disease effectively. Now, the key for the pandemic, practicing drills around the world and informing germ games to see if we are ready. Getting the countries to participate will increase the chances of us being prepared and have the best plan to respond and disease before it even spills out to the general community or the entire continent. Sa kabila ng makabuluhang pag-usbong ng paglago, nanatiling baluktot ang istruktura ng kita. Sa katunayan, ang disposable income ng top decile ay humigit kumulang 14 na beses kaysa sa bottom decile. Ang sakalaw ng kahirapan sa buong pamilya man o sa buong populasyon ay natiling mataas. Sa katunayan, ang isang dramatikong pagbawas sa kahirapan at isang makabuluhang pagbubuti ng kakayahang magtrabaho ay makamit kung ang produktibidad ng sektor ng agrikultura ay tataas. Dahil sa agrikultura ang nangingibabaw na hanap buhay sa mga lugar kung saan ito ay pinakaligtas na muling buksan. Bilang isang mamayan Pilipino ng Pilipinas, mahalagang matutunan or malaman natin ang wikang Pilipino dahil una sa lahat, ito ang ating sariling wika o dialekto ng ating kinagisnan. At bilang isang Pilipino, dapat nating ipagmalaki ang ating sariling wika. Dapat natin itong isulong hindi lamang dito sa ating bansa, kundi sa kahit saang bansa.